Cleopatra unveiled. The politician, the strategist, and the queen who played the ultimate game. Cleopatra, just the name stirs up images of grandeur, intrigue, and political savvy. She's one of history's most misunderstood figures, often reduced to a caricature of beauty and seduction. But let's set the record straight. Cleopatra was a powerhouse ruler, a strategic genius, and someone who could probably win any board game by sheer intellect alone, yes, even chess. Let's dive into her fascinating story, the one they don't show in costume dramas. Born into a nest of vipers, Cleopatra was born into a family that defined the word dysfunctional. The Ptolemies were infamous for their cutthroat politics, family betrayals, and an alarming fondness for sibling rivalry, literally. Forget squabbling over who gets the last piece of pie. They were fighting over crowns and kingdoms, often with daggers involved. Her father, Ptolemy XII, wasn't exactly the people's favorite ruler, but Cleopatra grew up watching him navigate the turbulent waters of politics. By the time she was a teenager, she'd learned a thing or two about surviving in a world where allies could become enemies in the blink of an eye. The real Cleopatra. More brain than beauty. Let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions. Cleopatra's power didn't come from her looks. Sure, she had charm, but what truly set her apart was her razor-sharp mind. Fluent in at least 9 languages and well-versed in politics, philosophy, and even science, Cleopatra was a ruler who could outsmart her rivals at every turn. She wasn't just a queen, she was a scholar, a diplomat, and a master strategist. While her contemporaries were busy waging wars, she was forming alliances and playing the long game. If you think of diplomacy as a chessboard, Cleopatra was the queen piece, moving with precision and foresight. Her famous rollout with Julius Caesar. When Cleopatra's reign was challenged by her brother Ptolemy XIII, she pulled off one of the most daring political moves in history. Legend has it she had herself smuggled into Julius Caesar's chambers, likely rolled up in a rug or a sack, just to plead her case. This wasn't some romantic stunt, it was a calculated power play. Cleopatra needed Caesar's backing to reclaim her throne, and she knew how to make an impression. The gambit worked, and with Caesar's support, she defeated her brother and secured her position as Egypt's ruler. Allies, not lovers. Cleopatra's alliances with powerful Roman leaders weren't about romance, they were about survival. Her relationships with Caesar and later Mark Antony were strategic partnerships, carefully orchestrated to protect Egypt's independence in an era when Rome was swallowing territories like a hungry beast. While many stories focus on her personal life, Cleopatra's real achievements were political. She turned Egypt into a vital player on the world stage, ensuring its wealth and culture remained intact in the face of Roman expansion. The warrior queen Cleopatra wasn't just a politician, she was a military leader as well. She personally commanded troops in battle, leading her forces against her enemies with courage and determination. Her victory over Ptolemy XIII showcased her tactical brilliance and solidified her reputation as a queen who wouldn't back down from a fight. Mark Antony and the final stand. Cleopatra's partnership with Mark Antony was another example of her strategic genius. Together, they formed a powerful alliance against Octavian, Rome's rising star. While their campaign ultimately failed, Cleopatra's role in these events demonstrated her willingness to risk everything to protect her kingdom. The end of an era. When Octavian defeated her forces, Cleopatra faced a grim choice: surrender and be paraded through Rome as a captive, or take control of her own fate. True to form, she chose the latter, orchestrating a dramatic and unforgettable exit. Her death marked the end of Egypt as an independent kingdom, but her legacy endured. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen, she was a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and the power of strategic thinking. Cleopatra, the leader behind the myth. So who was Cleopatra, really? She was a woman who refused to be defined by the narratives others imposed on her. She was a ruler who fought for her people, a strategist who outwitted her enemies, and a leader who left an indelible mark on history. If you've enjoyed this dive into Cleopatra's life, drop a comment about what moved you the most. History is full of stories just as captivating. Like and subscribe so you never miss any chronicles of the era's